Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Next Generation discussion. And today, I want to talk to you guys on a bit of a follow-up to Boruto Chapter 76 because we got a major progression that has been set as a foundation piece for a Boruto fan theory that looks like it's gaining some legs right now, which is Boruto's manga is setting the stage for a potential betrayal, and we need to look at the fallout for the betrayal. And given how huge this is, we're going to be doing this one in a top 5 style. Boruto's actions with Momoshiki have set the stage for a major split that looks like it might be inevitable, but it looks like there might be a chance for a change, which is the split between Boruto and Kawaki. But this time it looks like Boruto might be the one at fault here, which is a tragedy given the circumstances that Boruto finds himself in. As we all saw in the last manga chapter, Boruto had been speaking to Momoshiki, and there was a moment after Boruto began shouting at Momoshiki to tell him what he figured out about Ada's powers. Kawaki realized what was happening and demanded answers from Boruto in regards to him being able to communicate with Momoshiki, and even turned his razor-sharp gaze towards Momoshiki, demanding that he show himself so they could speak, which means this is now a fork-in-the-road situation, and things will not be the same from this point onward. We're either going to see Boruto walk down a darker path due to Momoshiki's stuff, or we're going to see Kawaki continue to take steps down that path of madness and continue the tragedy of the character, but this video is going to mostly focus on Boruto's behavior. So starting things off at number 1, we have potentially the largest implication of this moment, which is the inevitable 5 Kage summit, which has been foreshadowed to happen ever since Boruto chapters 66 and 67, but it hasn't taken place yet. At the last 5 Kage summit, Boruto wasn't the sole focus, but he was one of the main focuses for the summit, with some of the Kage going as far as to tell Naruto there's a time to be a father and there's a time to be a Hokage. It's now time for the latter. If you put your duties as a father first, you won't be able to stop Momoshiki if he revised using Boruto's body, which led to that super emotional scene in the anime where Naruto had his mental breakdown and panic attack, realizing that his son couldn't be saved. Everyone wanted him to kill his son. His duty as Hokage called for him to make that decision, but he as a father couldn't come to grips with the idea of murdering his firstborn child for the sake of protecting the ninja world. Since then, Boruto had been killed, but he got resurrected by Momoshiki, and the remaining data has made Boruto 100% Otsutsuki now. Kawaki, as a result of this situation, has reawakened his karma seal, more powerful than he ever was before, and is a threat that no ninja in the 5 nations can handle. Shikamaru referred to them being bomb brats, and that's Shikamaru, someone who's known Boruto for his entire life. The Kage are going to be less attached to Boruto, and there will be conversations surrounding Boruto that Naruto as a father is not going to want to have, especially once it becomes made aware that Boruto and Momoshiki are now sharing a brain, and Momoshiki has told Boruto that there is a coming time where Boruto will give up on his will to live and Momoshiki will take over. When that information gets out, Boruto goes from being a walking bomb threat to being a legitimate global world-ending threat. The Kage have already suggested that Naruto kill his son, and Naruto as a father look for another way around that. At some point, one of the Kage is going to question whether or not Naruto is still impartial enough to be fit for the mantle of Hokage, because we have a precedent in the past with other Kage who put their duty as Kage before their duty as a father. Case in point, Gaara's father and Naruto's own father, with Rasa making his son Gaara into a Jinchuriki to benefit the village, and Minato was literally given the option to raise his child alone if he allowed Kushina to take the Nine Tails with her to death. But Minato realized that not only would that be selfish, but when the Nine Tails respawns after death some years later, there's no guarantee they'll be the first ones to capture it, because other villages, mainly the Cloud Village, who already had 2 Biju and had attempted to capture the Nine Tails in the past, they would be on the hunt for the Kyuubi. I won't go as far as Naruto stepping down as Hokage, but his mantle Hokage will be brought into question depending on how he conducts himself, and he could very well be asked to step down. Now, at number 2, we have the issue of, now that Boruto's secret with Momoshiki has been exposed, will Momoshiki be pressed to take over Boruto's body due to the extra incentive, especially now that Kawaki knows that Boruto and Momoshiki are communicating, which is something that Momoshiki never wanted to be known. Whatever rampage Momoshiki goes on while inside of Boruto's body, it's going to be placed at the feet of Boruto, because not only did he keep this critical information to himself, which is a direct disobeyment from his master Sasuke, he specifically told him whenever something happens with his karma to let Sasuke know. But Momoshiki isn't in a rush to fight Kawaki, and we could see some Otsutsuki trickery going on to make Momoshiki be a threat, especially after he makes sure that Kawaki is neutralized potentially, and Momoshiki's actions could go go as far as being something so extreme that Boruto might be placed on lockdown or forced to leave the village until a solution with Momoshiki's brought about, but under the care of someone like Sasuke, since it's open knowledge that Code is looking for Boruto. However, we also run into a bigger problem, which is going to lead us to number 3. At number 3, we have Kawaki, who is not going to be too kind with this reveal with Boruto. We've already seen the foreshadowing for this being set up for a while now. Kawaki wasn't happy when he learned Kurama revived Boruto. He's been giving Boruto side glances after seeing him, and he's been tense since he saw Momoshiki manifest outside of Boruto's body, and now he knows that the two of them can communicate, and the next logical assumption he's going to make is that they can share brains, which makes Boruto's revival from Kurama a problem, because Kawaki, someone who is distrustful from Kurama, is going to be more on edge now than ever before, and once he learns how Boruto's brought back specifically, he's going to make the logical deduction, which is if Momoshiki had to use his remaining data to bring Boruto back, if there's no more remaining data, if Boruto gets killed, this time it will be for keeps, just like Momoshiki want Boruto, and we know Kawaki's hot enough to jump to that position. However, he's not the only one. You also have Damon. At number 4, we have Damon, who has already been asserting himself as the alpha of the horny house by bullying Boruto and Kawaki to make it clear that he's the top dog. If Damon tells the two of them to drop the soap, they better not just drop the soap. They better ask Damon where they specifically need to have it dropped. To use a WWE reference, Damon is Rhea Ripley and Boruto and Kawaki are Dominic Mysterio. Those boys don't wear the pants in the relationship. They wear short skirts, pumps, and fishnet stockings. Damon has made it clear he will eliminate them if he views them as being a threat to his sister, and there's no way that Damon's going to be comfortable with the idea of Boruto and Momoshiki sharing a brain, and the moment that Momoshiki takes over, Damon is going to be out for blood. In fact, given we've already seen Momoshiki look into the truth behind Ada's powers, and he has knowledge of all Shinjutsu, including the Shinjutsu that Damon possesses, Momoshiki likely has a way to fight and counter Damon's Shinjutsu, but it might be a matter of can Boruto's body draw out the complete power of Momoshiki in a way to allow him to do so, which I think, given that Boruto's supposed to willingly give up control, this means that Momoshiki should have access to Boruto's entire chakra supply, since this wasn't going to be like all the other times where Boruto's chakra levels dropped low enough and Momoshiki forcibly took over. Momoshiki's language was direct. Boruto would willingly give up control, and this time Momoshiki wasn't going to let him have it back, implying Momoshiki was permanently going to be there, which means whatever chakra Boruto exhausted would eventually recover, and Momoshiki would have access to the entire arsenal. Now, that brings us to point number 5, and this one's going to be the most heartbreaking in terms of fallout. Boruto's decision to keep this information to himself was not only selfish, but it's going to hurt the two people he admires the most: his father, Naruto, and his mentor, Sasuke. Not only did he not trust Naruto's leadership as Hokage enough to confide in this issue, which is a village level threat that can go to being a broader global issue, but he didn't even trust him as a father to let him know what's been going on with him. Whereas he was able to eventually come to him when he was at his lowest after destroying Sasuke's Rinnegan when Boruto was scared to go to sleep. This time it's different because Naruto specifically told him that as a father, he would always put Boruto first, even if it meant jeopardizing his standing as Hokage, and that alone should have been enough for Boruto to come to his father with this, not as a Hokage, but as a father. While Naruto's likely to understand Boruto was keeping this to himself, trying not to burden others, he also knows Boruto's not some idiot who can't think through the proper course of action to take. Keeping intel like this to yourself is the difference between a Ganin who still needs leadership and a Chunin who knows how to take the lead, which includes sharing uncomfortable information with your superiors, because there are some things that are bigger than oneself. With Sasuke, he's previously told Boruto, let me know if there's a development with your karma, but also he started the process of handing down his will of fire to Boruto, who wants to take up that mantle of Shadow Hokage. This is a teaching moment for Sasuke with Boruto. You don't keep information like this from the Hokage or the higher ups, but not when it's a village level security risk that has potential to endanger the entire world. More importantly, it's low-key disrespectful Boruto didn't at least tell Sasuke what's going on, but to be fair, Sasuke's always brooding in the shadows somewhere, one arm sleeve flapping in the wind as he's recharging his chakra, and isn't always in the village, so Boruto does have a defense there. The Naruto betrayal is gonna sting more than anything else, but that doesn't mean the Sasuke one won't sting any less. Boruto trusted Sasuke enough to give him permission to kill him if Momoshiki took over his body, and something like this would fall into that category as well, especially now that Momoshiki's begun manifesting outside of Boruto's body. However, that's gonna be it for this newest top 5. Which of these stands out the most to you while you think think that over, click here to watch my Chainsaw Man chapter 115 review, or click here to watch this Naruto Explain video.